Look at that! Oh my God!
A tornado ripped through Lawrence 6 months ago, and some are still trying to rebuild. See how this farmer isn't letting go of his business just yet.
And what businesses do you support? Learn why it's important to know about company values before being a customer.
Plus, this KU researcher went from the lab to being behind bars. Find out why he is now facing felony charges. I'm Malik Jackson.
And I'm Morgan Hildebrand. KUJH News starts now.
Live from the studios in Kansas. You are watching KUJH-TV News.
The Douglas County Court charged a former KU researcher with 4 felonies for theft and fraud. Lee Chu-Gu is a postdoctoral researcher in the Department of Evolutionary Biology. Authorities say Gu used his status in his personal benefit, making purchases on the university's behalf to get discounts. Prosecutors say he exploited confidential information to avoid paying between $25,000 and $100,000 in sales tax. The sheriff's office took Gu into custody on Monday.
Congressman Steve Watkins changed his home address on his voter registration. Local authorities are still investigating if Watkins broke state election laws after putting his residential address down as a UPS store. Now it's listed as an apartment in North Topeka, but the form does not say if he's actually moved in. A spokesman for Watkins says that the UPS address was a mistake.
High schoolers in Lawrence are getting some flexibility in when they start their school day. Starting next school year, students can come to the school at the current 8 a.m. start time or start classes at 9 a.m. People who choose to sleep in still have to take a full day of classes. The school board says the later start time is to help students with mental health and sleeping better.
Well, that's kind of nice. I wish I would have gotten that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So tell us about the weather. I know it was so warm today. I'm loving the sun.
Yeah, it's going to continue to be warm for the next 2 days, but this weekend some colder air is going to move in and we might even get some snow, but we'll have 2 nice days ahead of us, which is good. We have a warm up coming through this Thursday. We'll be in the 50s for the next 2 days, which is well above average for this time in December. But snow is going to be possible later this weekend because of some colder air that's going to move in late Sunday into Monday. But for right now, it is warm, 49 degrees, mostly sunny out there. A little bit of a breeze from the south that's bringing us some warmer air that's helping us get into the 50s for the next 2 days, which is well above average. Here's a check of clouds right now. For the most part, it is pretty clear in the area, but we do have that system moving in tomorrow that's going to bring us lots of cloud cover. I have your full forecast coming up in just a bit.
Some people are boycotting businesses over their values, but do these protests really work? Let's go to South Iowa Street where KUJH reporter Jake Kaufman is live. Jake, so it's not just about the people who are there, it's also about the people who aren't,
when the
right?
university said that Chick-fil-A was going to sponsor the coin toss at football games. Now Chick-fil-A is going to stop donating money to anti-LGBT organizations. Home material? Chicken. Businesses like Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby have faced controversy over their values for years. KU professor Nick Surratt says this controversy is why he believes people form boycotts against the two chains no matter what they do.
My understanding is that there is then occasionally a backlash by customers who support the anti-LGBT causes themselves and like that Chick-fil-A supports those causes because they themselves are anti-LGBT, and I think Chick-fil-A runs the risk of like alienating one group of people no matter what they do.
The Christian-based company faced backlash after saying they would stop donating to anti-LGBT organizations as these are the ones who made them successful.
The former governor of Arkansas tweeted at them saying they betrayed loyal customers for money and that he regrets believing they would stay true to their founder.
On the other hand, the KU student body president says she thinks this is a step in the right direction.
Of course, we'll know soon or maybe in a year or so if they've actually done it, and then I guess I could confidently say like, yes, it's a step, but I think them coming out now saying it, hopefully the money trail does stop, but I think it's a baby step.
Closed on Sundays. Businesses like Hobby Lobby, Chick-fil-A, while they're known for what they do and for what they sell, they're even more well known for their Christian values and their conservative beliefs, making it that no matter what organization they give their money to, they're always going to face a backlash towards people who either agree or disagree with their values.
I'm not going to support a business that is as openly negative and supportive of discriminating against queer people as it does. I mean, Chick-fil-A is not alone in that. If I were to be told about others that are like this, I've never gone into a Hobby Lobby.
Surratt says everyone has the choice to pick what businesses they give their money to, but he urges people to look into the company's morals and see if you share its values.
Chick-fil-A plans on giving $9 million to Covenant House International, local food banks, and Junior House USA. Live in Lawrence, Jay Kaufman, KUJH News.
That's a really interesting story, and I definitely think a good perspective, and not a lot of us think about the values of companies before we
go and consume their products.
Yeah, so really good story. So still to come on KUJH News, most 16-year-olds are worrying about getting a driver's license, but this teen is busy being Person of the Year.
And be on the lookout for loose bears, mountain lions, and llamas. Learn why Iowa Animal Rescue is on high alert. Stay with us. A dramatic day on Capitol Hill after hours of testimony in public and behind closed doors. Democrats believe they have their case against President Trump, announcing 2 articles of impeachment. It's just the 4th time in U.S. history Congress has done such a move.
The first order of business for members of Congress is the solemn act to take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and House Committee Chairman announcing 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump.
We must be clear. No one, not even the president, is above the law.
One article, abuse of power, the second, obstruction of Congress, both related to the president's dealings with Ukraine and the investigation into his actions. The Democratic majority in the House makes it all but certain that Trump will become just the 3rd U.S. president to be impeached. Democrats debated but opted not to pursue a 3rd article of impeachment on obstruction of justice related to the Mueller report. Instead, arguing the Ukraine matter illustrates a pattern of behavior on the part of the president.
To do nothing would make ourselves complicit in the president's abuse of his high office, the public trust, and our national security.
After the announcement, President Trump tweeted, "Witch hunt." Republicans have been sharply critical of the speed of the proceedings, repeatedly attacking Democrats' moves less than 1 year before an election. At the public hearing on Monday,
at the end of the day, all this is about a clock and a calendar.
The House Judiciary Committee will meet later this week to consider the articles, the lead up to a full floor vote. Kansas Democrat in the House is Reese Davis of Johnson County. She says she will vote to impeach the president.
Let's take a quick look at news from across the nation. A 16-year-old girl beat the president for Time Magazine's 2019 Person of the Year. You have probably heard of Greta Thunberg, a climate change advocate who has taken the world by storm. She's the youngest person to ever get the award. The Person of the Year is chosen based on the influence on the news and the world. Time Magazine says other candidates include President Trump, Nancy Pelosi, and the Hong Kong protesters. More than 150 animals are recovering after the Animal Rescue League shut down a roadside zoo. The ARL rescued hundreds of animals from the Cricket Hollow Zoo in Iowa after finding them living in small and dirty cages. The zoo had llamas, raccoons, bears, and more. The ARL says some animals are missing, and the zoo owners may have sold them, or they could be dead. And a video shows a man literally holding on for dear life. Oregon police arrested an 18-year-old after receiving a video of him riding a deer and holding on onto its antlers. The mule deer buck accidentally trapped itself in a feeding enclosure and couldn't escape. Wildlife troopers freed the deer, but there is no word on how it's doing. The man is facing charges of wildlife abuse and animal harassment. And that's your look at news from across the nation.
Well, I won't be riding a deer, but it's certainly nice enough to take a motorcycle and ride it down. It's so nice outside.
Yes, it is super nice for this time of year, and that's going to continue through the end of the work week. Colder air moves in next week, but it's nice for right now. I have your full forecast coming up after the break. Stay with us.
For a better life.
6 months have passed since the mile-wide tornado left Lawrence in devastation.
KUJH reporter Keely Drew tells us about a family who made a tremendous comeback.
Look at that. Oh my God.
6 months ago, a mile-wide tornado rolled into Lawrence and changed Farmer Pendleton's life forever.
When I heard the sirens go off here, clear from Lawrence, I knew that, well, better check on what's going on.
But he couldn't imagine what would happen next. The F4 tornado ripped through town, uprooting trees, destroying homes, and leaving broken glass everywhere. For the Pendletons, they lost their home and their business. But the one thing they held on to was hope.
If I dwelled on anything but the positive, it could just drag me under.
Pendleton wasn't sure if they'd ever reopen the farm, but he says Lawrence wasn't ready to let them fall.
So the community grabbed us, picked us up, and carried us.
The day after the tornado hit, the farm was full of people looking to help. Even the Free State football team showed up ready to lend some muscle. Now it's 6 months later and Pendleton's home is still being cleaned up and redone. But the farm is open for business. He says there's still a long way to go, but this pushed them to switch things up.
We're also going to take this as an opportunity to change what we're doing in the future business-wise and try and make ourselves more efficient.
Pendleton Farm made an impressive comeback, but where they persevered, some gave up. And this house is just up the road from the Pendleton's farm, but no work's been done. It looks the exact same today as it did 6 months ago. The windy wrath really hit this house hard, but things could have been a lot worse. Atmospheric science professor David Ron says the path of the storm saved people's lives.
If it was to the north just a little bit, it would have clipped a more densely populated Lawrence.
Ron says this F4 tornado is extremely rare and dangerous. It destroyed many homes, but luckily the people were able to find shelter and nobody died.
And the lead time is one of the most critical factors for saving people's lives.
And Pendleton says it's crucial to focus on the positives in the face of devastation. This rock sits right outside his destroyed home, untouched, which reminds him and his wife to live every day to the fullest. In Lawrence, Keely Drew, KUJH News.
The Pendletons are still working on renovations and say they don't expect to completely be back to normal for another 5 years. We certainly wish them the best.
We had a chilly past couple days here, but right now we have a really nice warm up that's going to continue into the next few days into the 50s. But for right now in Lawrence, it's 49 degrees, mostly sunny skies. We have a little bit of a wind out of the southeast at 3 miles an hour, and that southerly wind is helping to bring us a little bit of warmer weather to warm us up into the 50s. So for your planner tonight, temperatures will fall a little bit, but the winds are actually going to ramp up. We'll hit our low tonight at 7 p.m. Then we're going to start warming up again as that wind shapes right to the south and brings us up that warm air. So when you wake up in the morning tomorrow, it's not going to be nearly as cold as we saw the last couple days. So low of 37 degrees that will hit probably around 7 p.m. Clear skies will continue. It's going to be pretty breezy though as that wind starts to come directly from the south. You could hear some gusts tonight up to 25 miles an hour, but that's just bringing us that warm air that's going to warm us up into the 50s tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll hit a high of 52 degrees. Still have that breeze coming from the south-southwest at 15 to 20 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy skies. Those clouds will stick with us through the rest of tomorrow into tomorrow evening, but not cooling down nearly as much. Only hitting a low of 35 degrees, and those winds are going to calm down substantially as well. Stop day is coming up, and it's looking like it's going to be a really nice stop day weather-wise. We'll hit a high of 53 degrees for stop day. We'll have a few clouds hanging with us throughout the day, but for the most part, it's going to be really nice, and those winds will have calmed down as well. So it's really going to be a nice stop day if you have any plans to do anything. A few clouds will move in on the evening part. Now, I am tracking a system that's going to move in later this weekend that could give us a little bit of snow. This is a look at Sunday morning. As you see, we're in the blue area, so we could start to see snow in Lawrence Sunday morning into Sunday evening. Those chances just intensify, seeing that snow. The system is still a little bit far off, so timing could change, but keep that in mind that we could see the system move in. And Monday morning as well, that snow is going to stick around, but then it's going to move out of the area Monday afternoon into evening. So the beginning of your finals week is when we will see the start of that snow. And here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We're warming up into the 50s for the end of our work week. Then that cooler air is going to move in with the chance of snow and starting off your finals week on the cooler side. Back to you.
See, I don't really care about the next week. It's supposed to be cold in December, but 50s for the next 2 days?
I know, heck yeah,
Stop
tonight.
that.
I know, it's good to finish off the year all with warm weather.
Still to come on KUJH News, the Jayhawks have a few weeks until conference play, but will they be ready? See how this player is stepping up.
Plus, how did the chicken cross the road? Well, this time might not have been intentional. After the break, find out what happened to this elementary school's chicken. Stay with us. Ochai Agbaji finally breaks his cold streak, sending the Milwaukee Panthers back to the cold. The Jayhawks start off pretty strong, even with the Panthers' triple man coverage on Udoka Azubuike in the paint. Then something must have lit a spark in Agbaji because he's on fire, hitting 3 after 3, ending the game with 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. He later says that he's trying to maintain his drive and stay strong throughout the season. Jayhawks took the board with a final score of 95-68 over the Panthers.
A first grade class just got a Christmas miracle. Polka Dot the pet chicken went missing from a New Mexico elementary school on Monday. It's one of 5 pet chickens that are part of the first graders' year-long class project. The kids raised the birds from eggs to learn the importance of taking care of animals. They put up posters of the missing chicken around the school and the neighborhood. Luckily, someone did find Polka Dot and returned her safely to her coop. Wow, that really is a Christmas miracle.
The cutest story I've ever heard.
Absolutely. I'm glad they found it.
I love chickens. How sweet. Well, that is KUJH News for December 11th.
To view our stories again or to share them with your friends, visit our website at tv.ku.edu.
And tweet us for the latest news, weather, and sports.
This is our last show, so I know. So thank you for watching and joining us this semester. We wish you a happy holiday season.